And from Andrew Kurjata, okay, serious question. I was thinking about the Canada-USA hockey game and wondering if a football match between these two countries is going to carry the same level of intensity and same level of weight. A lot of political surroundings from the Canada-USA games last week at the Four Nations face-off in terms of the hockey space. But Brendan, do you see that potentially in a CONCACAF Nations League final?
This is a great question because one thing that you're going to see over the next year and a half, and you guys working in the industry, you probably already had these conversations, is you're going to see this blend between the regular soccer hardcores that are already in this space. I think all of us are excited for that semifinal against Mexico, which in a lot of ways could be a final and maybe is more of a test even than US in the actual final. I think the general public, what will stop them from truly getting excited is, what the hell is this tournament? Now, what the hell is the Four Nations face-off? That was just a created tournament to garner attention and to see best on best for the first time in a long time. The difference is hockey's in such a different place. So I think there'll be more intrigue, but I don't think you'd see the boost in the numbers that, let's say, American TV audiences saw for hockey. I think that was a bigger surprise. I don't think it would compare to that. But it would be a damn good time for it. I'd love to see it. U.S. and Canada in LA. I think it would get a lot more attention than a few years ago, certainly when they were in Vegas.
Yeah, I think it could be pretty intense. I don't think we're going to get the same sort of political tensions around it because it's simply not one nation's identity at its core. Like hockey for Canada is so like existential to what Canada identity holds on to. And, Trudeau was watching the match and Donald Trump was probably watching some of the game as well. At least he said that he watched overtime. So I don't think that's going to happen, especially, I don't necessarily think Trudeau has a one soccer or a football account. And I don't think Donald Trump could name anything about soccer, let alone other things. So I don't think that it's going to have that all around it. And that added a lot to it, even if the players don't necessarily reflect those same ideas.
Yeah. I look forward to that Alex Jones rant on my Twitter next. What the hell's the Nations League? If Christian Pulisic isn't the MVP of the Nations League, does it even happen? They're gonna give it to that guy from Bayern Munich. Yeah, sure. You know what they're into? I don't even want to go down that road anymore, but I feel like I should retire the Alex Jones.
I was gonna say we're gonna go to a dangerous territory where might have to cut it out. But yeah, this question is a great one. I love that Andrew sent it. As soon as I saw it, I knew we had to throw it in there. It's different though, because at the same time, like what's fascinating about the Canada-US hockey thing is the reality is a lot of the guys on the Canadian hockey team ideologically might actually not be that far off from, some of the American guys. But then there's just such a national pride that comes out. Even a lot of little things, like a lot of them probably didn't care, like the fights, right? Like those guys aren't throwing hands because they hated Donald Trump. They're just throwing hands because, look, it's hockey, emotions, riling up the guys, getting the crowd into it, right? That's just kind of the way they're operating. And it just kind of led to that moment. What's interesting in this case, like a lot of the Canada guys, like, this is a team filled of first, second, third generation immigrants, guys that have had such fascinating stories, who have really adopted Canada, as their home in a lot of cases. If they weren't born here, lots of great stories. Like for them, this case, they'd actually mean a lot more politically. I feel like, that guy really is a threat to what we represent and what's going on. But then you look at the way this Canadian team plays, especially under Jesse Marsh, they're just so focused on themselves and in a good way. Like Jesse Marsh said it, right? That confidence, that cockiness, that swagger. Jesse Marsh isn't sitting there like, you just guys go out, do your thing, be dominant. That's how guys are going to take notice of you. So funnily enough, I think if this is John Herdman's Canada, like I think I could expect some gusto, like some heavy tie. We've seen it, right? Like Kamal Miller trying to absolutely tear the legs off of Luka Modric. Like he doesn't care. Like, I'm going to go out there and send a message. I think there's going to be less of that from Jesse Marsh, because he wants his guys to go out and prove it with their football. So if anything, I think any tension would have to come from the U.S. And even then, like Christian Pulisic made a pretty strong statement in favor of Trump last fall. And even then, when he was asked about it, he's like, oh no, it's just a little TikTok dance. Like he didn't even, because he saw with the American hockey guys, that added fuel where they were asked like, they were so strongly in favor, and it riled up fans, it riled up Canadians. Like people were pissed at JT Miller and all these guys. I don't think these US guys are going to do that either.